Hey guys, so today we are interviewing someone who is very into the AI voice agent space. His name is Said Azizov, and Said is the co-founder of VocalBeam, a company which provides AI voice agent solutions. And VocalBeam have recently started helping me with my own AI voice agent, replacing my receptionist, who were very good. No complaints about them, but I want to give AI voice agents a try. So Saeed is very experienced in this field, and we have a very good conversation about voice agents, about his background, how he got into it, how he founded VocalBeam, and where he thinks things are going. Uh, Very interesting conversation. He's a very interesting guy. Consider him a friend of mine. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did. Today, we're joined here by Said Azizov, co-founder of VocalBeam, and Said has been very generous. He's helping me with creating a voice agent for my own business. So I met Said met him on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, probably a couple of weeks ago, via his co-founder as well. And since then, we've just been going back and forth on Telegram, and we've had a couple of meetings. And VocalBeam have been helping me, as I said, with a voice agent for my business. At the moment, I'm using a real life receptionist to handle all of my inbound calls, but VocalBeam will be taking that away and using an AI voice agent to really handle all of that for me, and a much better price and much easier way for me to have some control over it. So, Said, thanks for joining.
Thank you for inviting, Enrico. Nice to meet you. I'm glad to see you here.
No worries, thank you. So I thought before we get into sort of AI voice agents, obviously we met on X and it was we sort of connected by Simon, right? But it'd be
Yeah,
good to know a bit more about what you were doing before this and how you sort of fell into the space and Vocal Beam.
cool. So, uh, first of all, what I'm from quite academic and competitive fields. When I was in uni, and I'm still in uni, but on first grades, I really loved to solve different hackathons to participate and compete there. And I won few. Then I could join to Sber AI. It's a research team for diffusion models. We
Mhm.
train a large diffusion model to generate images, and uh, I grown from intern to middle. Then I moved to next company where we could contribute open source more. And like half a year ago, I decided to leave 9 to 5 job and try to do some sort of my business stuff. And I feel it's first project. It's expected, but it's teach me a lot. And I learned that distribution is a key. That's why I started be more active on X. I started to engaging with different people because network and people. So actually, business is a people, right?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I love X because I met a lot of amazing people like Simon, my co-founder, and you, Enrico. That's it.
Cool, cool. So
And
yeah.
mhm.
Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, after my first project, I tried a lot of different micro SaaS things, but come on, we decided to switch to the agency model because we can see clear problems of business and solve it for them, optimize some things or automate them.
Oh, cool. So you really sort of found an opportunity to sort of automate and make things sort of more efficient for businesses? And was that through your own experience of dealing with businesses, or was that sort of a pain point that you saw on X?
I feel like this was the pain point that I saw on Instagram. I've been monitoring what kind of problems right now AI can solve, because when you come from research field, it's really important to switch your mind from this experimental type of stage of technology to understand that business don't need experimental things. It needs solutions that actually proven to work 100%. And I think that voice agents actually achieved this stage, because if you tune them properly, they can actually deliver real value to the business.
Yeah.
And we built we quickly built first prototype in like 1 day or even less, and started doing outreach. And it was really impressive that we got first positive feedback from cold email on first day, and it, it wasn't so good next days, but it inspired us to continue, because I just like, okay, let's try to build some AI receptionist for real estate agent in Dubai. And I just went on threads and started like DMing all real estate agents there. And one of them responded, and I was like, I got this momentum, we need to do this, Simon.
Yeah. So it sounds like you went from the concept being proven to deploying or marketing very quickly. Is that right to say? Is that fair to
Yeah,
say?
this is true.
Okay, okay. So so you move very quickly then, and I'm guessing you think that's an important thing to do, right? To see whether
Well,
there's a demand or
I learned it in a really hard way. My first project that I told about earlier, I spent like 4 weeks to build an MVP for this huge thing. But the reality is that it most likely product with, so you need to iterate really quickly. You need to understand that people actually need this, and understand what actually you are trying to solve. This is
Mm,
really important, and that's why I have a rule to uh, I'm starting doing outreach and asking people about the product. Can they pay for it? Is this really pain point even before I start doing any sort of MVPs or something like that? And then if we see that this is actually a pain point and people really want it, not just it's cool thing, uh, we build MVP in a week or two maximum.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. And I think it also speaks volume of how easy it is to use technology. Obviously, you need to know how everything works, but nowadays it's quite impressive how you can go from idea to getting something
Yes.
off the ground so quickly. Like a few years ago, it would have taken ages to do something like this, possibly, and a lot more people.
Absolutely. Before you need to have like a team of 3 or 4 engineers with different specializations, but now you can just buy Claude Code subscription
Yeah,
and in one prompt ask it to generate whole front end for your app and then back end. This is really amazing.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So I'd like to touch on the Dubai person in a bit, but before that, obviously you joined X and you saw that there's sort of this whole ecosystem of entrepreneurs and things like that. And then you met Simon. How did that come around? Because I find X has to be probably one of the most unique platforms online in terms of connecting people who are like-minded.
Yes.
You just don't get the same thing on Instagram. You might get it on LinkedIn, but with X, it just seems to be a lot. it's like on steroids. It's happening all the time. People are always connecting. So how did you come across Simon? How did that work?
We just interact a few times in comments, and then one of us just reached out in direct messages. And I don't know how this happened, but we started chatting every day for a month. And then one of us just randomly said, "Hey, let's do something together." And
Yeah.
we agreed. And this was the beginning of VocalBeam. So before it was called VocalBeam, we named it Speech Zero,
Mm.
but we decided to change name because of some SEO problems.
Yeah, fine. And then with Simon, um, I take it you two have a complementary skill sets. Would that be fair to say? Like you also have your strengths and he has some strengths, you have some strengths, but would you say you've got sort of complementary skill sets that work quite well together?
We're both software engineers, but
Okay.
we have some different fields. And this is cool because I'm more AI guy. I went from machine learning specifically, but Simon has really great skill because he works in cybersecurity. And
Oh,
this is really important for AI systems nowadays to, it's easy to wipe code anything, but
mm,
we have a lot of precedents and many products really failed because the founders could wipe code them, but there is a lot of cybersecurity things that can really ruin your app if you don't know them.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Cool. So you got together with Simon, you had all these calls and you thought, okay, voice agents would be a solution. Can you explain what a voice agent is? Because I explained it earlier, but I probably did a poor job of it. But it'd be good to hear from your interpretation, your understanding. What is a voice agent?
Mhm.
Made simple for lay people.
Okay, so actually, voice agent is chatbot that can listen and speak.
Mm,
That's it. So current AI voice system is actually a combination of speech to text model, large language model in between, and text to speech model to
mm,
generate actual speech. And the cool part is that in a few years, really, few years ago, we couldn't generate that great quality of speech. But right now you can do it even in a real time. And large language models became too lightning uh, fast.
yeah.
And yeah, I think we really achieved the time when this solution can actually be deployed for the business, not in experimental phase, but in real value.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you came up with this idea for the voice agents, was obviously you deployed it really quickly, but did you have to do a lot of experiments with different types of software and things like that, or did you broadly know what tools you needed to get started with it?
So we researched a bit and we had few options like 11 labs, we have WAPI, we have different kind of services, but we decided to stop on 11 labs because it can it gives us actually everything we need
Mm,
to build an agent really quick as we did. And we community for 11 labs quite huge. And yeah, I think it's it's really enough for implementation right now.
sure, sure. And then when you got started, o- obviously, you were probably doing quite a bit of experimenting and fixing things. Was there anything how long did that process take to sort of get it to a point where you mentioned that you had a Dubai client or
Yeah.
potential client? How long did it take to get to that stage of, okay, let's do the voice agent and oh my gosh, someone actually wants it and we need to make it sound good. How long did that whole process take?
To be honest, I we had not any implementation when we started doing outreach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because we know that we have one more day to uh, when we're doing cold outreach, it's most likely people are going to respond us in a few days because I don't know why people don't tend to respond immediately in DMs. And yeah, actually, it's really simple to we haven't tried to implement all APIs and etc. We just created some sort of a mock implementation that actually demonstrates to our potential customer everything that we can do. We just connected calendar. We connected. Uh, I parsed his Instagram page with all his services, etc. And it's really easy to switch between. It's kind of general technology, general purpose, and it's really easy to switch between different fields, industries.
hmm hmm Okay. But I can imagine you were completely over the moon when someone replied though, right? And
Yes.
and they actually wanted it. Yeah.
Because I really had I think every founder knows this when you created some project and you spent a lot of time building it and you
Yeah.
finally realize that nobody needed. And this time many people actually say that's cool, really great idea, and people gonna pay for it. And
Mm,
the emotions and momentum really beats hard.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what problem do you think a voice agent solves or can solve for most businesses? Because you mentioned there about booking systems, and for me, what you're doing is a bit simple in terms because that's my request. Like, I just want people to be able to get through to me, but essentially there's a bit of a barrier between, and the call gets forwarded to me. But you mentioned booking systems and things like that for the Dubai client. So what problems do you think it solves? Obviously, it's able to book things for you, but is there anything else that it solves?
So I think that voice agents are really good at qualifying leads because you even before booking you can prompt agent to get some information about the client. You can ask so by business request we can uh, program our AI agent to ask some questions to the lead, understand what he actually wants, and instead of just booking we can qualify it, uh, estimate the urgency of his request. For example, if we are speaking about plumbers, some cases requires really emergent actions. And
Yeah,
I think that in these terms, AI systems can work really well. And also, it works well at things that it takes a lot of time for a human to do because for example if we talking about not simple systems where the only task of the reception is to uh, pick up the phone and book someone, but if the reception need to search database, if it needs to collect some information, it really takes a lot of time, and
mm,
AI systems can do it momentarily.
yeah. It's like there's all these different stages or steps that someone has to go through. They have to open the calendar, check and check availability and see whether they're actually available, look at the details of their location and
Yeah.
things like that. So it really just simplifies that whole process. And as you said, that's a really important thing which I didn't think about. Businesses where they're dealing with emergencies such as leaks or floods or fire, things like that. I can imagine it's very valuable to have that an agent taking
Yeah.
these calls all the time. Cool. And that's that's really good to know. And in terms of the Dubai client, obviously they've had a go at this system. Do you think that there's a lot of opportunity in that market? Because I'm in the same sort of industry in property and sort of real estate. Do you think there's a lot of scope for expansion in this industry? From my perspective, I think there is. But from you sort of getting into this sector, so to say, do you see a lot of opportunities for other businesses to also make use of this?
I think there are definitely a lot of opportunities, and some businesses integrate them fast and
Mm,
getting all the benefits of being the first. And other players gonna realize it a bit later, but I know that a lot of people using AI voice agents to not only process inbound calls, but also doing outbound calls. For example, if
mm.
we speak about the cafes, coffee shops, or something like that, I saw cases where people just somehow gathering the information like phone number from for their client, and then they can casually use outbound voice system to call him and suggest him some new sort of seasonal
Wow.
food or something like that. It really optimizes retention. And also, uh, for example, specifically about real estate agents, one missed call, I suppose, can really cost a lot for this type of people, professions, because I'm not deeply into their field, but it's really competitive
Yeah.
profession because you need to get many calls, and one missed call is actually missed client because most likely if you haven't picked up the phone, they're gonna just call another person and he gonna close the deal, not you.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that that's why it's so valuable for them.
Yeah, for sure. Let's, a bit of the elephant in the room. How do people tend to react to the voices?
Mhm.
Because obviously, I mean, the one that you prepared for me, you and Simon prepared for me, is pretty good. Um, how do people tend to react, or do you? I guess another question is, do you think the technology will get better as well?
I think it definitely gonna be better, but at the current stage, and I think not at the current stage, people, same with video generation. Few years ago, we had this terrible videos of low
Yeah.
quality, and right now it's really amazing what's happening in this field. And I think
Mm,
that audio gonna improve significantly too, but people still can recognize AI, and I same with videos and audio, but and it really creates some sort of distrust. And that's why I think it's super
mm,
important to, even if model's so good, even if receptionist works decently, we always need to make it clear that it's AI talking to you.
sure.
It's going to be comfortable for a person to speak naturally, but it's great extension. It's great UX for people to communicate with instead of press one to go to operator,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm.
But yeah, I think with all AI things right now, we need to make clear that it's AI because,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I may have mentioned that to you and Simon before. I'm really grateful that you're going to be putting a voice agent for my business. But as you said, I think it's important to let people know, perhaps at the outset, that look, it is AI, so sort of their expectations are managed, and obviously it depends on the business as well. But there is still some distrust, at least here where I live, about AI sort of handling certain things.
Yeah.
But I think once you sort of have that disclaimer, I think people's barriers go down a bit, and they know what to expect and what not to expect.
Yeah. And also, I think for solo businesses, this can be huge. Uh, it's super important to uh, keep your focus on actual work and not be distracted. And it helps businesses to sort of empower them with their personal AI receptionist. But
Mm,
when we speaking about some sort of more loaded systems, and if we have some sort of, for example, in clinics, hospitals, I think it's really important to keep real person and not to
mm,
just replace labor, but we can just make life of people easier to,
yeah,
remove all this overload that they facing and actually qualify leads that really needs to speak to a real person.
yeah, yeah, of course, of course. And another thing which you mentioned as well is um, the whole inbound and outbound. I think that's amazing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people, including myself, are looking at calls being handled inbound. Um, but you touched on outbound earlier, and I think that is, I don't know, you'll know better than I do, but is that an area which people even consider when it comes to AI, sort of outbound calls? Because prior to speaking to you, I didn't even think about it. I just thought, yeah, it can handle my inbound calls, but I didn't think that it could make outbound. Is that something people are aware of, or?
Yeah, so as I know, right now a lot of marketing agencies trying to adopt this technology for
Mm,
their personal use, and even so, there's like a chain of different agencies, like AI agency doing white labeling for marketing agency that sell their custom solution to different agency to
yeah,
generate leads.
yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll see more of these calls in future, to be honest. I don't know how what's going to be the attitude of people to these calls, because if we're gonna try, do it too hard, I think it's going to be quite annoying. If,
Loads of AI people just like calling up AI agents, like different companies.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But that's a good point. And I guess the other thing to think about is things like deep fakes and or whatever, like voice cloning and all of that. These are things which sort of have to be considered as well. Maybe some companies might not want to go with it. Maybe they'll just prefer sort of the inbound side of it. Because even at the moment, I don't know about you, but I get calls all the time. My number's pretty publicly available. And if my bank calls me or if anyone calls me, I never take the call. I always call them back because I just don't trust, for example,
yeah,
that it
yeah,
is the bank or anything
true.
like that. I always give them a call back. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the balance between inbound and outbound is struck by businesses. Um, and in terms of your outreach today, obviously you're trying to grow this with Simon and really get VocalBeam to the forefront. What are some of the um, avenues that you're trying to go down to increase your visibility as a business? Because I can imagine it's so difficult. Like what you're doing is really good, but I can imagine, as you said earlier, there's a lot of businesses doing it at the same
Yeah.
time. How are you trying to stand out and how are you trying to get, you know, get really inside prospects' heads that Vocal Beam is the solution?
So
Yeah, because
I
obviously
think,
X is a good platform, and I see you're blowing up on X. I think you've got what is it 800 something followers? Was it something like that?
yeah, I'm getting closer to four-digit club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is kind of target for a lot of people. I hope I'm gonna reach it
Oh
soon.
yeah, for sure you'll get there.
Yeah. So I think that the most important thing in online business is actually trust. and
Mm.
we need to gather trust. We need to really earn it by giving free value to people. So even right now, we suggest f free trials, we suggest free implementations, because even if you put yourself on the place of your potential customer, ho- ho- I receive a lot of cold DMs on X, and it's kind of, I understand why a lot of people don't reply to cold DM, because you receive tons of them. You
Yeah.
receive, and you can't actually trust who is this person, why I need to give my money to him, not
Yeah,
to
yeah,
another one.
yeah.
And that's why we need to build a lot of distribution platforms. Not only, you know, WhatsApp is kind of direct kind of interaction, but in long term, we definitely need to invest in long form content, educational content. We actually need to prove that we are that good as we are. We
Oh
need to
yeah.
show it to people.
So you
Yeah.
would say that, you know, building that trust is very important. And I agree with you because I get you, I mean, everyone on X gets it, loads of DMs. It's unbelievable how many DMs people send, and a lot of them are the same. I don't know if they're bots or what, just different profile picture.
Yeah, and another kind of incorrect thing that a lot of people who send DMs doing is that they are trying to directly push or their
Mm,
pitch their promotion, like buy my services. But more smarter thing is to really on X. I hear this uh, from somewhere that same thing with money. Money is just it, it it's just a measure. It's just uh, abstraction over some real value. And
mm.
the thing on X is the same. A lot of people chase the numbers of their followers,
Yeah.
but what's really important to not just post random funny stuff to get more attention and get more uh, followers, but to every day connect to people, not artificially send them DMs like hello and respond them in 2 days. But really, I love this practice. I see it more and more with my friends that people started to set their Calendly links and like I have 10 slots and let's meet 10 people on this Sunday. I want to talk to you guys. And I think that these 10 people are actually more important than like 100 random followers
Mm. Oh yeah, for
in
sure.
terms of business.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as well, it takes a lot of commitment to to, do that,
Yeah.
and for someone to actually want to dial on a call with you. But I'll tell you what I liked about you guys is that, just from my perspective, is that you're very genuine, and you just post on X, and even long before I knew you were offering voice agents, I was going back and forth with Simon.
Yeah.
And we were just messaging in the DMs just about completely unrelated things, but it was just so organic. And Simon's never ever tried to pitch me or anything like that. You've never ever tried to pitch me or anything, but you've just come across as very nice, hungry people who just want to actually find a solution and implement the solution. There was never any sort of a pitch. So I think that genuine approach of just having a conversation, right, I think is very understated, but very, very powerful. Even if it's
Absolutely.
just, helping someone without the expectation
Yes.
of getting anything, I think that's very important. And I think that's what really set you and Simon apart.
I also think that uh, this take that a lot of people, because of their experience, probably they got during their lifetime, they got probably faced many people who could uh, somehow hurt them. But it's really important to continue to trust people, really, and actually trusting people first can be a great strategy because in most cases, people are honest, people are kind and good because of some morals, because of our culture, and because of different sort of reasons. And I think being open and honest really important on X too. Really.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I also know that you're doing some offline marketing, is that correct? Doing sort of cold calls and various
Yeah,
things like
we're
that.
doing cold calls. This is really hard. This is hard. And we started with UK market, and
Uh-huh.
it was hard for me because I'm not from UK. I have not this UK accent.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
when I call to people, they're like, "Ah, he's not British. Where are you from? Are you a
Yeah, yeah,
scammer?"
yeah.
This is this is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough, isn't it? The cold calls picking up the phone, but that's what's impressive as well, is that you guys are just you're doing email marketing, I think, as well. Are you?
We haven't started
Oh, you
yet,
haven't started.
but we're
Okay,
definitely
fine.
gonna do this. Yeah.
Yeah, you're leaving no stone unturned,
Yeah.
which is good.
Or- what really hard in our offer is that we face, so not only with our, I think a lot of businesses face it, is gatekeeping.
Mm,
uh, you most of the time you just can't get the number of owner, and it's really strange to ask for receptionist to connect you with owner to
mm.
automate reception. People like, nah. Leave me alone, please.
Yeah, yeah. Getting through to the owner or that key decision maker, it can be, yeah, very hard. Very, very hard. Yeah, I can imagine that. Cool, cool. So let's talk through sort of from initial contact to becoming a Vocal Beam
Yeah.
customer. What does that process look like? What are some of the few, what are the first few steps, and how do you go about, getting someone fully onboarded with Vocal Beam and they go from no receptionist to one of your solutions, or they go from a receptionist to one of your solutions? What does that process look like and how long does it take?
So to get first MVP, uh, just to most of the time, even before getting a call. So if we somehow could get a call from our potential client, we always prepare kind of MVP agent for this specific agent, for this specific client. And it depends on complexity because for the
Mm,
kind of simple agents that are just sort of booking systems or just smart voicemail, it can take a few days, and we offer free trial. But for more like custom systems, where for example, in real estate, it makes more sense because we can qualify and inform potential client quite a lot, and we need to get to some sort of inner database of the our clients. We need to set up all this stuff. This can take more time, but it's actually a few calls and you get your agent. This is so simple right now, really.
yeah.
How many takes? How many days it took us to from the first call to final agent? Ah, okay. S- So at the current moment, we almost implemented your agent.
Yeah, I think when did we have our call? This just happened so quickly. I can't remember. When did I think we had it last week? Friday.
Yeah, yeah, a few
Yeah,
days
we had
ago.
it Friday, I think. Friday, and you already had it sort of there, the number there, and I was able to call it actually on Friday. It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect, but it was almost there. Um, yeah, and you said you're gonna get it ready in a few days, so that's super quick.
It's true. And also important thing to know that when you are building an agency, we suppose that if you are focused on few things or
Mm,
even one thing to do, you can deliver your offer, you can deliver your final product much faster because it's just gonna be a pipeline of different uh, of agents for different people, and it's gonna take even less time, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. So are you saying that it's better to implement something sort of smaller and then go from there, or
Yeah.
sort of yeah, especially yeah. And that makes sense because I guess the temptation, well, not the temptation, I guess the thing with AI, there seems to be an infinite amount of possibilities, right? That
Yes.
you could offer all sorts of things to businesses, but you need to, I agree that you sort of have to try one or two things first and get those right, get them really right before you
Yeah.
start experimenting with other things.
Stick to one thing, get better at it,
Yeah.
and then you can scale. So actually, going back to the thing with trust, i- you need to be the best. I think at the current market, it's so saturated. Every person want to create an AI agency, and because it's really easy. But at some points, if you go further and further, you can leverage your software engineering background. You can leverage your AI background, and here you can actually start winning.
Mm.
I think this is, yeah, you have to become the best at something really small because it
Yeah.
creates trust.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, obviously you guys are might be trying other things, but if you get known for being an expert in that field, and that's all you're talking about day in, day out to people, people are going to remember that, oh yeah, I need a voice agent, or they need a voice agent. Try VocalBeam or try
Yeah.
Side, try Simon. Those guys know what they're doing when it comes to voice agents. But when you have sort of all these offerings, it's very difficult to sort of pitch evenly to the point that people remember what exactly you do.
Yeah.
So being sort of the AI voice agent experts is I guess the best thing for you guys. Um, Lovely. So is there anything else that you want to talk about or demonstrate to us about AI voice agents, or how they could be of value to businesses or to people listening?
Let me think about it. About it.
Like
It's hard question. Uh,
I was telling you and Simon on Friday, my example of dealing with a office company here in London, and they're actually using not an AI voice agent, but they're using an AI like assistant. I don't know, an AI agent, I'd say, to go back and forth with me on emails, and I was just absolutely blown away because it was checking the availability for space in the office so that I could get a desk or an office. And it was just having normal conversations via email. And to me, it didn't get it 100% right, but to me, that was mind blowing that I could email them on the contact form, and I could be having a conversation with, even though I knew as an agent, but I could be having a conversation with them at like 10 p.m. at night and get an answer to my query because it's linked to their database of
yeah.
available spec. It's mind blowing. And yes, of course, you know, they probably have a chat bot on the website, but it's a different experience uh, on email. So it is, I think AI voice agents are pretty much the same thing. Uh,
Yeah.
it doesn't, it could be email or it can be a voice agent.
The same thing with just booking forms. Like we had this conversation with Simon about why do people even need this AI voice agents for booking if people can just go to the website and try to type a bit of
Mm,
information and get a booking. So again, I think in these terms, AI first solves UX problem because people actually we really used to just pick up the phone and call to the number we want to call. We don't want to go to different kind of websites and fill a lot of information to them. And in terms of even your email uh, case, you could actually understand what value this kind of business provide, and that they actually solve the problem that you want to solve. And uh, lead qualification is great. So that's the whole point. AI agents, AI systems, they can actually automate communication with the client to finally understand what he wants, and if
Mm.
your company are gonna solve it. Because I think with emails, this can even be more like specific. More, this case can we can face it more often, that you type an email and you never get a response. In WhatsApp, I think it's less frequent. Like people, so businesses tend more to reply on WhatsApp, but on email, it somehow it just fades away. All these
Yeah.
messages.
But you say that, but on WhatsApp, I think what I've noticed with WhatsApp and is that even when I've messaged businesses in the past, obviously it goes to at least small business, it goes to the founder or someone very close to the founder, and even
Yeah.
then they don't always respond. So I think there is room for AI even there in terms of WhatsApp because it's just natural. If it's going to someone's phone, they
Mhm.
might have 10, 20 other messages, or like me, it's my personal phone. And I think there's
And
there's room for the AI voice agent, well, not voice agent, but AI agent to step in there as well to sort of fill the gap.
And I think that what you mentioned, this is actually a great case for orchestration. I think a lot of business owners actually want to see some promotions, like they want to see what people gonna offer them to make more, to bring more value, to make more money. But because of some, human factor, people they don't receive all these offers. And the great case actually is to in orchestration, because this AI agent can actually be a gates for your business to send message to you or to another decision maker, like
Yeah. It's like a
yeah.
support, isn't it? It handles those things which you might forget to handle. You're not, you might just be too busy to handle. It sort of steps in and fills that gap. And that's one of the things I've noticed now, especially running my own business, is that with AI, it's it's unbelievable. It's like different employees almost, which are able to support me
Yeah.
in my tasks. Whereas a few years ago, when I had a different business, it literally felt like it was all on me to deliver everything, to do everything, to think of everything, how to write things, how to say things. But now we're in this age where you have these supports such as AI voice agents and AI agents generally to make it much, much easier for small business and big businesses um, to operate efficiently.
Yes, absolutely. And for I, I think one of the great cases, let's say in real estate, that I heard is that some real estate agencies started doing massive analysis of different sort of real estate, but with AI agents. So they have sort of pipeline that was tuned by for years by their employees and people who actually researched every house, every property, and they have kind of internal systems that, for example, ChatGPT can't do that, but the custom AI agent that has access to specific information can do this massively. For example, they can scan the like uh, whole area and just give you top 10 best properties in this area for sale or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, VocalBeam, where can people learn more about VocalBeam? How can people get in touch with you? How do people get started with VocalBeam?
vocalbeam.com.
Yeah, cool. It's a nice
So
name, by the way. I really like the name VocalBeam.
yeah, this was Simon's solution.
Uh-huh.
So he decided to buy this domain, and I really love the name. This is kind of cool.
Yeah,
So yeah, VocalBeam, you can actually just reach out to us directly, me or Simon. I hope Enrico will
I'll
show
link you.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I'll figure all of that out. I'll put your website, your email addresses.
Thank you. So yeah, just casually write us on X or on email or just on website. We always glad to help.
Yeah. So it's vocalbeam.com. Your X handle is what?
My X handle is Said
Okay.
underscore hustle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and
Sweet.
for Simon, let me see. Simon Belf.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Simon Balfe. Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Cool. Cool. Well, look, thank you so much for your time, Said. I'm really excited to work with you and Simon, more so than Vocal Beam, but you and Simon as individuals because you're both enthusiastic, you're both hungry, and you're just both prepared as well, and you know what you're talking about. So I'm really looking forward to working with you, and I encourage everyone to really go and check out vocalbeam.com. Um, you won't regret getting in touch with them. They're really, really helpful, really hungry to help. So yeah, thank you so much, Saeed, and
Thank
we'll
you so much,
definitely keep
Enrico.
talking for sure.
Thank you for really, thank you for trusting us. Thank you for, well, I really love the conversations we have this club with Enrico,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
And you're an
this is
admin as well. I just made you an admin. I like this guy. Let's make Saeed an admin.
thank you, thank you. Have a great day, Enrico. Thank you so
Thanks.
much
You
again.
too. You too. All right, take care,
Glad
Saeed.
to be here. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye.